thumbnail?
Sure.
I totally get it now.
It's taking so long.
I was like,
oh my gosh.
I don't know what you're doing. Oh, I do know what you're doing.
It's the thumbnail. Yay! Dad joke of the day.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. That is so good.
Okay, hi and welcome back to the best thing you watched this week with Chris from Movies and Munchies, myself, Ruben from the Ruby Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a lot to cover. Got the best things that we watched, and then in our audio exclusive content, we have a review that I'm excited to talk with Chris about. It's a doozy. In our Patreon, we're going to be talking about a certain TV series if you're on that tier. However, if you're a part of just whatever Patreon, you're going to be seeing a conversation that we had with a member there that had a question for us about IMDb's bottom 250, which we took our top five on that. So it's a pretty long one, but it's a really entertaining, quite fun one. So that'll be up when you're watching this. I'm just gonna die.
You all right there?
And talking about Patreon, I just wanted to say thank you very much to Chris Retzlaff, Another Digital Citizen, Fortuna Luzzy, Jamie, Sage Hoffman, Jack, and David Carino, all of those that have been a part of our Patreon. It really helps build a community there and helps us offset any cost that we want to. So we have a cornucopia of videos on there starting at just £1, which is awesome, I think. But I'm biased, so...
Well, that's okay. That's okay. And speaking of cornucopia of things, coming very soon to the Patreon is a drinking challenge, a drinking game. Ruben and I are going to be watching, and it is not soda. We are going to be watching a movie. It's a short, but that's okay. I mean, it's 30 minutes, so it's plenty long. And
it's still half an hour,
Yeah, and we're hoping we will not die. So we will be taking shots as things occur. And you get to watch us watch that, but we'll also be playing it on the screen, so you get to watch the movie along with us. You can even play that game with us if you want. Yes. So that'll be available to everybody on the Patreon, whichever level you're on there. So we're looking forward to that, kind of, because that's morning drinking for me. It's afternoon drinking for Ruben. So
yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, it is.
So thank you so much for joining us. Do subscribe if you haven't yet on either one of our channels, but specifically also and on or the audio segment. Like if you can just rate or comment, do something with that. It really does help push us up in those lists that are everywhere. And actually you won't miss anything because our audio has a lot of extra content that you won't see just in the video segment. But we have a lot of fun in the video segment as well. Which starts with our weekly video quiz, which I'll hand over to Chris.
Oh, we are completely unscripted.
Really? You couldn't tell?
What? No. All right. We had two winners last week. This is spectacular. Tara Briscoe and PGH Boost Shop. I don't know what that means, but that's awesome name. Congratulations to both of you. That's awesome for getting it all correct. The answers: Little Giants, Rookie of the Year, and The Sandlot. And so these were, kids' sports movies.
Yeah, this wasn't my theme. I wasn't getting these.
No. Have you seen those movies, though?
I think I've seen half of Sandlot.
Okay.
The Rookie of the Year, maybe.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, it's stupid, but it's so good. And then Little Giants. You haven't seen Rick Moranis, Ed O'Neill?
Yeah, I've seen some of it. Yeah, it wasn't ever something that stood out. It wasn't anything like in the zeitgeist where I was when it came out. It's not.
Well, I know it's American
cup of
football.
tea. Yeah.
So yeah, but
I love American football. Yeah.
Yay sports. But the story, the heart of the story, and the message and the theme within there, so good. So it transcends the sports. You know,
I have
sports
two
is really just
favorite American football films. I wouldn't really call Jerry Maguire American football. It's more just about him because he looks after a number of people in different sports. But I would say Any Given Sunday is incredible.
Okay.
And remember the Titans?
The Titans?
Yeah. With Denzel. I like The Blind Side as well, but
okay.
Yeah.
What about Rudy?
It's old. It's aged.
Oh, you're killing me. What about Invincible?
Forgot about that one. That's good. That's a good one.
We Are Marshall?
I'll tell you what, though. I really like the one from Adam Sandler, which is, okay, The Longest Yard.
Oh, Waterboy?
Waterboy's good, but I think it's The Longest Yard. He looks after like prison guys, and he's got to shape them into a team. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
that was
so
a remake,
many, actually.
too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, surprising when you think about how many there actually are of the American football. Well, so I guess not surprising considering how big it is. It's like football in the UK, you know. It's
Americans like
religion.
to think so. Well, yes, it is a religion, but Americans like to think it's much bigger than it is. I mean, you look at any regular football outside of the United States, and it's staggering.
Sorry, what did you call it in the the US? You call it soccer, right?
We call it soccer in the US. Yes.
Yeah, because we used to call it soccer in South Africa as well. So.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah,
that's interesting. Okay. Well, are you ready for this week's? Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Number 1. Well, I've read through the handbook for the recently deceased. It says live people ignore the strange and unusual. I myself am strange and unusual.
Got it.
Cool. I have to work around here, and unfortunately, Troy, you are a master at the art of time suckage.
Just think of Community of Troy and Abed.
Oh. Different Troy.
Yeah, different Troy.
All right. And number 3, what is your damage, Heather?
Yeah, it's great. What's your damage? Yeah. Good one. Yeah, nice.
So,
okay.
A definite theme there. So let us know in the comments. If you can guess that, we'll give you a shout out next time. But now, Ruben, do you have a question for us?
Well, it's a dark question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. With the current state of the world that we're in,
Lord,
do you think Earth will survive another 10 years?
10 years.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. I mean, you hope, but realistically,
I think so. There's a lot of posturing that goes on, and there's a lot of unstable individuals with a lot of control and power. Yeah. I'm choosing to believe, though, that sane will win over the insane. Now, normally, I'm much more of a cynical person.
I'm surprised. I thought this would be right up your street. You'd be like, yeah, and this dude says something bad about that dude, and now we're in World War III.
Yeah, yeah, and I can see that happening, but I'm hopeful, I want to believe that people will be hesitant.
So what about global warming? I presume you believe global warming is a real thing.
Climate change is definitely a thing. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So we started at scientific base level. Cool. We've crossed over the threshold red line where they gave us a warning where they said we needed to take the gases, we needed to change things. We had a point, like 1 point to get it under. But now the predictive things are just way past. Like there's no way coming back. So my theory is if the permafrost melts in Russia, that's like the oldest permafrost we have, with the things that we don't know what it will do to us, and there's such biological contaminants in there, and all the movies predict, and the movies often predict truth, which is airy.
Yeah, because a lot of these people use these as like instruction booklets rather than warnings. And
we don't follow that. We don't want that.
It's a cautionary tale.
Did you watch the
they're
thing?
not saying do this. They're saying don't do this.
Yeah. And so we could, like, on one hand, we could, because of what we've done to Earth, we could get who knows what sort of biological contaminant. And then while everybody is trying to survive another COVID that's way worse, somebody like China gets upset because of somebody else interfering with their, I guess, their bottom dollar, their bottom currency. Someone else gets sanctions. Russia finally says, yeah, no, we weren't joking on our threats. We're going to do that. And America retaliates. And then all the allies have to go, okay, I guess we got to, because we're allied with them. That's it. We're done.
Wow. Well, that was a happy question. Thank you for that on this morning or afternoon or evening.
Let us know in the comments.
Listening.
I also want to know if there's anybody that actually, if you don't want anybody to know this about you, then don't answer, obviously. But is anybody that's actually built some sort of bunker? Because I know so many people that are actually like put a lot of stock into those now.
Yeah, I'm gonna stack mine with Twinkies.
Me too. I don't know how long I would want to live in a post-apocalyptic world. Just take me out in the first wave, make it quick. I'm good.
Yeah. What if post-apocalypse is like The Road? Nope. I'm.
However, if it's actually zombies, sign me up. I reckon I could have a lot of fun with zombies.
I need to get a gun first.
Crossbows, guns, swords, flamethrowers.
Yeah. I need to stock up on weapons. I mean, everything I have is fake.
We need to do some survival courses, Chris.
Yeah, and I need to, what is that? Cardio. I need to do cardio.
Zombie kill of the week.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna have to brush up a little bit there because I'm out of shape. Well, no, I'm not out of shape. I am a shape. I'm
you
just
are
round.
a shape. It's a great round shape. Yeah.
Yeah, round is a shape, but
Round's
that's not the
shape
shape I want to be. I want to be more cylindrical.
Okay, I've taken us on a tangent. Sorry if you've just tuned in and you're like, what? I thought this was about the best thing. Why are you talking about... We're going to get into that now. The best thing we watched. Welcome.
Hello.
I'm going to start because I think I have more than you this week.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. This one will be a quick one. We've literally just gotten this on Sky, but it came out in January on Peacock.
Okay.
It's called Poker Face. I've seen the first 2 episodes, and it's incredible. Mostly because it's Ryan Johnson who's the creator and the writer, and you got Natasha Lyonne, who is she is the main protagonist, and I love Natasha Lyonne. I think she's a phenomenal actress. She has such an interesting demeanor and presence on screen, so different to the normal. Her voice helps; it's really gruff and deep. So she has an ability, which is she can tell if you're lying, no matter what it is. It's not about like tells. She just knows. She knows if you're lying. She can't, like, it's not magic. There are only certain things she can do. She can tell if whatever you're saying, if it's a lie. And so she gets banned from playing in any casino because they pick up that she's literally blacklisted. She ends up working as a cocktail waitress in one of the casinos and she's fine. She's happy with that until she's offered a job by Adrian Brody, who's taken over his father's casino, trying to live up to the father's name. And so he says, look, we're going to fleece one of our big fishes, our whale. And the way you can do that is by helping us figure out when he's lying on his private poker game because he's cheating from us. Things go wrong. And it basically ends up with her on the run, solving the case of the week and the episode of the week. The way each episode starts is like the murder of the episode. They spend a good amount of time on characters they introduce like characters. The acting is phenomenal from everybody, and it's filmed like I feel like I'm watching a film. It reminds me of Fargo, like that sort of intense atmosphere. But then you have that little bit of quirkiness that comes from actors like Natasha Lyonne, but also Rian Johnson's dialogue. You know, Knives Out, that kind of stuff. It's like that, but in a TV series. Like we haven't watched the whole lot, but we are riveted. Like we're just like, damn, this is really good. And we just weren't expecting it to be at the level, because we've watched so much TV series at the moment and stuff that we've gone back to, like just, we can't choose what to watch because there's so much and we don't want it to be bad. So you go back to a comfort food, right?
Sure.
What you know.
Yep.
So we stuck this on going, okay, well, let's give it a go. We like Natasha and Rian Johnson. So, you know, who knows? And then we were just like, oh, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. We really have to go to bed. But I really want to watch more. And it left us hanging going, we want to see the next, rather than, I guess, you know, I guess this is good. It's really fun.
I have watched the first couple of episodes also.
Oh, so you're with us, yeah.
Yeah, it is. I'm like, and the only reason I haven't continued is just out of busyness, not not out of not wanting to watch it, because I did. You're right. It's riveting. It's so great, and she is so good in the role. So good. And the writing is quick and it's witty, and I mean, even the editing. I mean, it just puts it together and keeps this really good. Moving pace so that you feel this boom, 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 this energy going, but it doesn't feel like it's amazing how much they pack in to an episode, and it doesn't feel rushed, and it doesn't feel like overly stuffed. I mean, you get all the information that you need, and I'm very impressed with it. Yeah. It's coming. It's got a second season coming. Really? Amazing,
yeah. I think. Yeah. Is that good news? Maybe it's like there's an arc and she finds herself involved with something else. Because I imagine it's her ability that they can use as the part of the storyline. Yeah. Because I wouldn't want them to drag it out forever.
No, Yeah, you have to make a pivot at some point, I would think, because you can't be like on the run forever, right? That
doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm glad you got to see it.
Nice. Yeah. So what's on your list?
This was a movie, I missed it Sundance because they didn't do it digitally. They only did it an in-person screening, and then it was only in the theaters around me for like 2 weeks, which was crazy. And so I didn't get a chance to see it there. But then it was on like on demand. And it's called Polite Society.
Man, I'm gutted I've missed this one. Yeah.
Dude. It's so good. You have these two sisters, a younger one and a slightly older one. I mean, they're not twins, so there you go. The older one is she's kind of a struggling artist. She meets this guy who proposes, and they're going to get married. Well, her younger sister is all about being a stunt woman. I mean, she is quirky. She's weird. She is very determined, though. And she sees what's happening to her sister and feels that her sister's life could be in danger. And so how we frame it is, or how the movie is framed, is always from her perspective. Okay. So from the younger sister's perspective. And because she wants to be a stunt woman, everything appears to be a little over-exaggerated, a little intense, kind of like an action movie. And so you never quite are able to tell, is this really going on, or is this a scenario that's playing out within her head that's been augmented? You know, like you're seeing a conversation or an argument, but in what we see is actually a fist fight. So it does answer that towards the end. I mean, you understand where is reality and stuff. But the younger sister, Rhea, she enlists the help of her friends because she figures she can't convince her older sister to not marry this dude who she feels is bad, and the family is bad news. So she makes a plan to kidnap the sister from her wedding. Okay. The dialogue is witty. I mean, it's British, so it's outstanding. But it's also there's a big Indian influence within there also
I
because
thought
the
it
family
was
is
Indian,
Indian.
so it's spoken in English.
It's spoken in English. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's you just have characters that come in. I mean, there's an antagonist who is big and bad and just overbearing and great presence on the screen because she just delivers this, and but also can come across to everybody else as very proper and prim.
Yeah.
The action is a lot of fun. There are quick cuts at points, but there's also where you get to see the fight choreography, and the camera will do some of those weird moves where it follows the body. So as they flip over or something, the camera turns so that our perspective, goes weird. And so it's, the movie is funny. Comedy works. The action works. The dynamic between the two sisters is outstanding. You'll recognize the older sister because she was in season 2, at least season 2. I didn't see season 3, but of Umbrella Academy.
Oh, really?
She was the dude who's good at the knives.
Oh, yeah.
The girl that pairs up with him in season 2.
I know who you mean. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so this is a monster-sized surprise for me. Like I thought, this might be cute, might be fun, but I was like, wow, I will rewatch this a bunch.
Okay.
Because especially because Rhea she's the main character in this and the one that we see from her perspective, but she's not always perfect. That's the thing that we get to watch so much of her trying to do moves and failing, which makes it relatable at some point. You know what I mean? Like she builds herself up as able to do this in her head, and then when she gets to execution, it's like, oh well, that fell short. Makes it just a lot of fun. So.
Naida Manzushi, I don't know that she's done many other, directed much else. She directed a couple of episodes of Doctor Who, which is
really
interesting, with the Jodie Foster Doctor Who. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Right on. Yeah. So this one, definitely put it on your list to check out at some point.
Yeah, this is for sure going on my list. I like the look of the trailer. I saw a couple of people really hating on it, and it's I can't see it being anything what you've said. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay.
So in the UK, we finally got SISU. And man alive. Unexpected is a word. In my review, I did a review on another channel with John that we've had a guest here before on his podcast, and basically I said, what's a similar film to Dante's Peak?
Dante's Peak. Volcano.
Yeah, exactly. What's a similar film to Armageddon?
Deep Impact.
Yeah, you see, you're getting them. Yeah. So, what's a similar film to SISU?
Well, somewhat John Wick.
No, I wouldn't say that. Blood and Gold, that just came out on Netflix.
Oh, yes, absolutely. That is, yes.
Seriously, what the hell? Nazis, gold, and protagonist trying to get somewhere. Anyway, I like SISU more than Blood and Gold. I enjoyed Blood and Gold, but SISU has an aesthetic feeling. There's a prettiness that's gritty about the cinematography, and then in contrast you have this gore that just comes up, which I think is different to John Wick. And I would say don't go in expecting John Wick. It's not hand-to-hand close combat, switch fighting. There is some close combat fighting, but it's using these weird old weapons from axes, knives, landmines, and and explodey things. But once you find and understand what SISU means, if you look at the definition of the word SISU, which actually is coming up in the film itself, just about basically the English would translate that as guts, which means you never give up. No matter what you're going through, you are so determined. You're the type of guy in an anime where the bad guy goes, "Why don't you just stay down? I keep beating him. I don't believe this. He's getting up again." his power must be over 9,000. It's that it's that sort of character. One of the protagonists that has the least amount of dialogue I've ever seen in a feature film. He mostly just grunts and breaks bones. But it's that SISU thread and theme that you really get through, like, the whole film. Like, you're just like, flipping heck, that I'd be dead at the beginning, man. Like,
oh yeah,
like, it starts off with him experiencing one thing, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's me dead. Like, I don't have that SISU. But it was thoroughly entertaining, very different, nice to see something. One thing I wasn't expecting was that it was in English. I really thought this was a world cinema film, and I went in and was just like, what? There are some subtitles, but 90% of the film is English, but with actors that are obviously culture specific, so it makes they're acting in English rather than it being dubbed, and it works.
Yep. Did you see this in the theater?
Yeah.
Was it packed?
No.
Oh. Because when we got to see a press screening, it was like filled with press, and the part of the enjoyment of this is because of all of the audible gasps and squirms and, you know, the whole reaction simultaneously going on with the audience when you see things like when the rebar and the leg, you know, or the
man, there's so many moments that I was going,
dude, without giving spoilers, I mean, the river scene or the lake scene.
oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen anything like that before?
I've never seen anything like that. Yeah.
I mean, for the creativity and the disgustingness.
There's a lot of creativity, actually. I'm thinking about the cow. There's moments in this film. Yeah, while you were talking, I was just looking at our local View Cinema to seeing like how much is booked, and all the screenings are very, very minimal booked seats.
I wonder if that's because it's already out on digital here in the US, and so
probably a lot of people have seen it already. So
yeah,
and they've taken too long, which is unfortunate because it is one that you'll really enjoy on a massive screen. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I mean, the story is simple. You know, I'm not sure it's like an utterly touching, memorable story like that, but it's one of these that is absolutely fun to watch, and you're horrified in a very entertaining way throughout the entire thing.
I don't even know if he's a good guy. I just know that we're rooting for him.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, because he was, you know, he's the guy who just wanted to be left alone.
Yeah, exactly. He was. And yeah, I was definitely rooting for him.
What did you think about the as it gets towards the end with the plane?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
That's where I kind of went, okay, we're just gonna go with this now. And
oh, the fact that he could, yeah, no, yeah. But there was a lot of times where I just said, "But you're dead. How are you? Yeah. Seriously, you're dead. Stop it."
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm glad you got to see it. I'm glad you had fun with it. That's outstanding.
It's really good. I could do with more. Did you know, and I've been trying to get you to watch this film for a while, the same director directed Rare Exports and that Christmas horror film.
We watched that. We watched that
we watched
Christmas
that.
time.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
I've been trying to get you to watch it, and I've forgotten that you've watched it. Brilliant. And the actor's in it.
Is he Santa?
I think so.
Oh,
which explains a lot. Which explains a lot about the presents that he has. Yeah.
That's, oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's good. I'll
have to go back.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
We'll have to rewatch it too with that mindset. That will be funny.
Oh my gosh, I'm seriously getting old if I can't remember that we've seen that. Yeah. Okay.
Well, hey, we to be fair, we've seen a bunch of stuff.
I see so much every week, and my brain is full.
Yeah. Well, and like we'll discuss in the audio on the movie that we both watched. I didn't think I'd seen it. So there you go.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Good to move on?
Yeah, absolutely. So what's next on your list then?
This was one that somebody on Twitter told us that we should watch.
Okay.
And I had seen it when I was going through Prime, at least for me. Like, I mean, there's other on-demand channels that you can go through, but I happened to see this on Prime when I was looking for something else. And so I decided to check this out on Friday night, Thursday night, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's a movie. I guess it came out in 2022. And really, I'd never heard of it before. It's called The Artifice Girl.
Oh yeah.
And let me read the description really quick because I'm not sure I want to, yeah, I guess. I mean, a team of special agents discovers a revolutionary new computer program to bait and trap online predators. And after teaming up with the program's developer, they soon find that the AI is rapidly advancing beyond its original purpose. Sort of, yeah. This is told in 3 acts. And it's like even deliberately, I mean, it comes up 1, 2, 3, you know, and gives you like a little subtitle type of thing of what this segment is. It's not a long movie. It's only an hour and a half. It's sci-fi, but only in concept, not in really in what we see. There's one moment that leans towards that a little bit, but it's so grounded that it's like, well, whatever. It's like a stage play because each of the 3 chapters are in contained areas, like single setting. There's a flashback sequence at one point, so we're taken out of these 3 locations, but that's minimal.
Yeah.
And it's just reinforcing, and so it could be like it's happening during a narration, so it's really just somebody remembering something anyway. But because that's a flashback. But anyway, the dialogue in this is rapid fire. It is so quick and so smart, and the characters almost interrupt each other and don't finish all of their thoughts sometimes, and so It comes across very real. And especially with how it begins, it starts off with an interview, and the interview is very charged, just emotionally charged, and they're talking over each other, interrupting the whole thing, and you begin to get a sense of what's happening before they tell you, before they land on it. And then once it does, then the story shifts gears and moves forward in time. And then you get to see, we don't see what happened in the interim, but because of the dialogue, we instantly know what happened in the interim. It is the guy who directed it also wrote it and also stars in it, which sometimes worries me because you lose a little bit of objectivity sometimes there. He's excellent in it though. I mean, he's really great. But then there's a few other people in this that Gareth. Yes.
So that's the director.
Franklin Rich is the director, the writer, and the star. Lance Henriksen plays an older Gareth.
Yeah,
at one point.
Love Lance.
Yeah,
he's great.
Yeah. So it's good, but it's filmed in such a way that, I mean, it drew me in. Now, I'm trying to. Actually, I really enjoyed even the ending of it. I wasn't sure I did when it first ended. I was just kind of like, do I like this? But because of the progression that we see, even though it's not obviously laid out, I mean, it's really dialogue driven. So you're listening to this and you're hearing the conversations and the arguments that people raise. And that then ties everything together. And so it really becomes brilliant at the end. I mean, even the idea from the get-go is like, wow, that's cool. But then there are these emotional, just gut punch moments that come in, and they don't leave you hanging. I mean, they resolve themselves, but satisfyingly. So,
Okay.
this
is available on Amazon in the UK to rent or buy.
Okay. Yep. That's how I did it.
That's
Yep.
what you did. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it is. If you like dialogue, driven
If
movies,
it's good. I like dialogue.
yeah. So so it's very much stage play, and yeah. So anyway, there you go. Give it a try.
Nice. I like those ones that people suggest for us and they end up actually being good.
Oh my gosh!
Because
yes.
sometimes we get the most random ones and we'll watch it and be like, what is this?
yes, exactly. Oh goodness. So what's next on your list?
One that I had so much fun with watching. There's better stuff that I've watched in quality wise, but for the one that I think I had the most fun and enjoyment out of watching, it'd be this one, which makes it another reason why I'll have to keep my Disney Plus subscription for a while, I guess, because there's a lot on Disney Plus that's just nonsense and not good. But American-born Chinese is Jin Wang is an average teenager balancing high school and home life. When he meets a new foreign student on his first day of school, even more worlds collide as Jin is unwittingly entangled in a battle with Chinese mythological gods. It brings back two amazing actors playing together. So we got Ki Hui Kwan, and Michelle Yeoh, and obviously we've just seen them together in like one of the best films ever, which won all the awards. I'm trying to think of how many awards it won.
11.
Yes, something like that.
Everything,
crazy. Everywhere, all at once. Anyway, yeah. So it was wonderful to see them on screen together. But what I loved about this series is, my goodness, it's quite short episodes. I think the first one's about 40 minutes, and then it's like 30 minutes for the 8 episodes. I'd watched the first half, and I reviewed that, and then I went back. Like I said in my review, I said I can't wait to go and watch the rest. I just wanted to let people know, so I did. Yeah. And then it was like really late at night, but I didn't care. I was just having so much fun watching this. Okay, so there's two things that work in this. It's the story. You really care about the kids, and what's great about it is that you feel like they're kids. They're written like kids, not written like they're speaking like the characters from Dawson's Creek. It feels like very now, real life, but also reacting like they would to parents or their friends. We have this young kid who is just trying to find his way in life. He wants to be the popular kid. He's not really popular. And then you have this other guy that suddenly comes out and he gets lumped with because they both happen to be Chinese. Oh, please, let him shadow you. And this other guy is so flamboyant and loud and is so confident, the opposite of what our main protagonist is. He's got to learn to be all that. And so he finds this other guy really intimidating. Of course, we have our triangle, but our main protagonist loves this young girl who's beautiful but is out of his reach, and then you have the jocks that are like, you have the bullying thing. There's a very big culture thing though, which I think it doesn't feel preachy, but it feels right. So I really struggle with his name. How do you pronounce his name? I used to be able to pronounce it properly.
Data.
Data. Yeah. Ki Hui Kwan. He plays Freddie Wong.
Okay.
And so most of the time when we see him is in, I don't know if you remember the way Chinese people used to be depicted as the comedic release. So that you'll have like the majority of a white cast, and then there'll be this person that's of foreign nature, to the American audience, and they'll be the comedic relief.
The Fool, right?
The Fool, yeah. I mean, if you go further back, they always like big teeth and stuff. Thankfully, they didn't do that here.
Just offensive, yes.
Yeah, and so now that we've come out of that, you see that, and it's so like ridiculous. But he plays this like they watch a TV series that's popular in their world that he is part of, and so we see him in that. But we also see him as an actor outside of that, and like a reunion from that TV show. We get to see him talk about what that meant and what that means now, and how he was grateful for the opportunity, but that wasn't right. And then so that deals with that issue of culture mixing with culture and the way people treat each other without being preachy. So there's this thread that I think is written in there very nicely. And then we get the martial arts, and my word, is it good. It's the story of the Monkey King, well, the Monkey King's son.
Okay.
There's a war in heaven on their planet, in their world. And so the Monkey King's son has a dream, and he comes to Earth because he wants to find the fourth scroll, which can help them end the war. And so he assumes the personality of a young kid. He doesn't quite look like that. He looks more monkish. The father is played by Daniel Wu, who is the Monkey King. And if you know anything about Daniel Wu, he's a phenomenal martial artist. He's been in things like Westworld, Into the Badlands, which is incredible, Tomb Raider, just a lot of, I guess, stuff that he's so believable in the role that you just immediately feel comfortable when they're doing martial arts. Of course, we have Michelle Yeoh. They do a lot of wire work, which doesn't feel out of place in this, like anti-gravity magic stuff, because we're dealing with the Monkey King. So they incorporate the martial arts where they're running, because it's like holding a school a lot of the time, like they're running on the side, the kids' lockers, they're like how they run on walls and stuff. And then they incorporate the hand-to-hand combat. They're using modern day stuff, but like old school wire work, which was so much fun. Episode 6 has some of the best martial arts I've seen in a long time. I was just blown away. But they also get really creative. There's a flashback whole episode to give us an understanding of why the dad doesn't want to release his son to go and be who he wants to be because of what has happened in the dad's past. So we have a whole episode basically in heaven, and it feels very differently aesthetically brave to do that. And very brave for, I think, a Disney kid story that has a mature theme to it. Yeah. I was like, this is really good. I'm surprised that not more people aren't talking about it. It just feels like it suddenly all came out. They dropped all the episodes. It's got Michelle Yeoh, one of the hottest actresses at the moment. I don't mean by beauty. I mean, she is beautiful, but just like as an A-lister. Both of them, I'm so surprised that more people aren't talking about this. It seems to have fallen by the wayside.
And I wonder if that's just an unfortunate happenstance with Disney.
Yeah,
you know what
it's
I mean?
Possible because they're getting rid of so much of their own originals because they can't afford to keep them.
This looks cool. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I've been wanting to see it. I just hadn't had the opportunity yet. But you have me excited.
It's really fun. Yeah,
like I didn't realize there was the other, like the fantastical part. Yeah. That goes into there, and then mixed with, I figured there was going to be some martial arts, but not to the degree like that we saw in Shang-Chi or even like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, something like that.
Yeah. Oh. I was surprised that, and it's nice to see that sort of wire work in modern times. So you also get to see like some stuff in their own world, but like in our world, that's what we've wanted for ages. Like bring all that fantasy, because we want to imagine that we could have that, in our world, which is great. There's a lot of drama in there as well. But the teen angst drama feels right. It feels real.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is that probably because of how they're written? So that they're written to be 100%. Like kids, so it feels good.
Yeah, and that's another still for you to keep.
Oh, yes. I love it. Did your camera die there for a second? Oh my gosh, we're just going to sit here and enjoy. We're going to enjoy that for a bit. Ruben's pensive look as he contemplates life with pursed lips, and that's outstanding. So and we're back, and there is Ruben. Okay. Has no idea what we've been talking about, which is even better.
No.
So nobody tell him what we were talking about.
Damn it.
No, dude, that's so cool. Okay. I'm gonna have to check it out. Is it are any parts of it in like in Chinese also?
There's a lot of subtitles you have to read.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not all in English. Yeah, Good. It's a mixture of both.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just all quality acting, production, martial arts, it all
Nice.
was just good. I was like, huh, who would have thunk
Sweet.
it? I expected, because Disney is almost, there's stuff in there now, when it comes out, I expect a lower quality. I don't have a high expectation of, like, this is great. It feels like they've chucked it out. It feels a bit rushed. It's kind of like that.
Especially
Netflix.
on their shows, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I'm glad this was quality.
Well, even their movies like Peter Pan, I'm just like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. All right. I've been watching a series. The penultimate episode aired this week. I am so stoked for the season finale and gutted all at the same time because I do not want the show to end.
Right.
But
Is this Yellow Jackets?
no, I started watching the season finale of that one, and I'm like, oh gosh, okay. So but it was really late at night, and so I was like, I need to revisit that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ted Lasso,
Oh, okay.
dude.
Because so many people are hating on this third season. Like, a lot of people say this is terrible. Don't watch it.
They need to just jog on, because okay, every episode is like an hour long. So good, first off, because finally a weekly show that gives me reason to do it. There's so much layered story within this. As we've been going through this season, there have been introductions of arcs where I'm like, where are you going with this? Why are you introducing this now?
Yeah, knowing that it's the
ending,
last season.
right?
Yeah, it's ending, yeah.
Yeah, and so like they have a storyline with Colin, one of the footballers, also with Keely. And, I mean, not together, but their stories parallel, kind of, and it feels like it's coming out of the blue. And then when that storyline reaches its climax within the larger story, it's like, whoa, that was so powerful. That was so well done. We're getting nuggets of greatness every week. So you can, I mean, we're watching growth in Ted. This last episode, Coach Beard says some things where you're like, and the actor Brendan, I can't remember his last name. He, because he wrote some of the episodes also, but Brendan Hunt. These storylines are devastating in a really great way. We're seeing so much character growth in all of these. It's been building to this season and to this part. And we know that they planned it for 3 seasons. That was it. They were just, we're done. And I mean, Roy Kent, Brett Goldstein, who's also, one of the writers. I mean, he's fudge. I mean, just
so good.
so great. But every bit of this, there's elements that make me laugh. There's elements that bring tears to my eyes, that hit you in the heart, and the way this episode, this latest episode 11 ends, what's going to come. At least it seems very predictable in one little aspect. But there's so much more that was packed into this. I mean, we've watched Jamie Tart have this monster size arc throughout, which is just huge growth all the way. I mean, you watch the team come together. I think that's what I love about Ted Lasso. They're written in a way that when a character goes from you hate this character to a way that you love this character. There's so many series that go, one episode they're this character, another episode they're this character. This one, you've really gone through that journey with them through all 3 seasons. You feel like you've earned that story arc. And that's part of the reason why I think we so love the series, because we love
almost every single one of those characters because they're so well defined, because they've had 3 seasons of arcs that they've been building them up to, and written in such a way that is believable with their changes.
Yeah, well, and like, where are you at in the show?
I'm halfway through, yeah.
Okay, of this 3rd season?
Yeah.
Okay. Like when season 2 ended, I was not enjoying Nate's arc. Like it felt natural within there. I just didn't want that for him. You know?
Didn't. No, because don't do this, Nate. Don't do this to us.
Exactly. Well, his story's not done.
No.
And that's what I love in this, that it's written so much that through so many of the characters, there are redemption arcs. Like and this last episode, this latest episode really hits upon that. I mean, and it's not even, it's not preachy, but it's not subtle either. It attacks it headlong on second chances, on moving past something, and you're like, whoa, so good, you know. And it's in multiple characters that we watch it play out also. So I have, like, it's so funny because I'll watch an episode and go, oh my gosh, this has been the best one so far. And then the next week comes and I'm like, holy crap, how did they top that? I don't understand the hate for this, like this season. What are you apparently are watching the wrong show or something like that, because
it's a different show.
Yeah, because I mean, my wife was telling me she had read this article where Jason, I guess I've never seen really the Ted Lasso on the NBC Sports where this character originated from. Right. Yeah. And apparently he was like rude, over the top, just kind of like gruff and everything else. And Jason Sudeikis had almost like based him on Donald Trump. But then when Donald Trump became president and that whole shit show, he knew that he could not do that. He had to be polar opposite of that, because that's not the character. I mean, he was making fun of it. Yeah. But then he when it became reality, he didn't want that to be to be associated. And so he went the complete opposite way, which is why you have so much charm in this, so much positivity, so much uplifting and just loving on people. Ted sees the best in absolutely everybody, and it shines through. I mean, I don't want the show to end, but I'm also thrilled that it's ending how they want it to, and at the time that they want it to, so I would much rather be left wanting more than wishing they had ended it 2 seasons earlier.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Wow. Yeah, I mean, how long is it till it's finished?
This next week is the last episode.
Okay, I think I will take the day and watch the second half when it's aired. I'm gonna be sad. It's gonna be bittersweet because it's so good.
Yeah.
But then it's done, and you're like, but no more Ted in my life? What am I gonna do? I need those biscuits.
We started before this season. We went back to start rewatching it again, and it's so I'm good. Just like, oh yeah, it is, and you pick up on things now, knowing it, that I had missed before, that were subtle or that were huge nods to what was going to come. It's just I didn't know about it, and so I think the rewatchability on this is pretty high.
Well, that's good. I did wonder about whether it was still going to be as fun to watch. So Hannah Waddington, who plays Rebecca, who's incredible in this, yes. And Ted keeps bringing her those biscuits, and which she just absolutely adores. She was one of the hosts to the European. We just had it here in the UK. I was telling you about it. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. Eurovision.
Really?
Yeah, she was one of the hosts. She was incredible.
Cool.
But one of the persons that she was talking to gave her biscuits, which was
that's
brilliant. I was just like, yeah.
Did she laugh?
She did.
Was it just?
She loved it. Yeah, she's great. She is her character in like life. She seems like that flamboyant.
Oh, okay. Just
and
nice,
tough as well. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, rock on. Cool.
Okay, I don't even know which one to do. Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll go for something a little darker. There's 8 episodes of a series that's now on Disney Plus in the UK that is part of the Hotstar, but it's a Hulu original originally, although I think Hulu bought it from Stars, which is just all over the place. Yeah, whatever. It's called The Clearing. It stars Miranda Otto, who you'll probably like, Guy Pearce, Teresa Palmer, Errol Shand, who you'll probably know if you've seen, Anna Lisa Phillips, Julia Savage. There is a cast here that you'll be like, damn, okay, this is good. So basically, it's based on a book. A woman is forced to confront the nightmares of her past in order to stop a secret cult intent on gathering children to fulfill their master plan. So these kids are all blonde, but they need to keep up their quotas, and one day a kid is kidnapped, but doesn't have blonde hair, so they have to like induct her. What's the word that you say when you're teaching you against your will?
Indoctrinate,
thank you. So they have to indoctrinate this child. So basically it jumps from seeing our main protagonist in the future, and then jumps back. We're not sure like whose past, we just know it's the past, and then so you're wondering, you're always on edge, you're wondering why they're showing us these 2 timelines, and you see how weird and wacko job they are, this cult. They believe wholeheartedly in what they're doing is right, but they're always trying to dodge cops and stuff because cops know something's not quite right. You know, it's like the master race because they're all blonde haired. At least the kids are, not necessarily all the. Yeah, exactly.
I've never understood that.
I've never like that's like Hitler. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, exactly. That.
You don't even fit in your own master race. What the? Jog
Miranda Otto plays like the house mother. She is like in charge of the whole organization. She plays agent. She is creepy as heck and scary. Like her on-screen presence is just nasty. Guy Pearce as well, Dr. Bryce Latham. When he plays creepy man, I want to look away. He's like so sleazy and so perfect for the role, I guess. And then Teresa Palmer is basically our protagonist, who we follow a lot of the time in the UK, at least. I don't know if you've seen any of the Discovery of Witches. She was the protagonist in that for all 3 seasons, and she did a fantastic job. Very well-loved trilogy of books. She obviously likes doing the trilogy of books. Not only is this based on the book, but it's also based on a real-life cult. That's what inspired the book. So when you're watching it, you're like, oh, some of this stuff did happen. It is all about like these women in this cult. The thing is, it's going to feel very slow when you're watching it, because it's a lot of dialogue, there's a lot of stuff happening. It looks great, but you're trying to work things out. There's always an air of tenseness, though, when you're watching it. It just creeps out the whole time. I think that's partly down to the direction, the look. It's got that grey-blue filter. It's like almost sci-fi, but not quite. It's just airy. And then you have weird score music that's like melancholy, so they're just doubling down on that creepiness. And then you see our main protagonist's mind kind of unraveling as she's dealing with what has happened to her in the past by this cult, at least we think, and then what's happening in the present. And so you're worried for anybody that's involved with them. However, there are a number of twists in here that I did not see coming. It threw me I was like, really? But how come? I was surprised. So I don't want to say anything, but like we've had so many of these series, like the cult series where people get in and we try and get them out, and we try and survive. This one has a few twists on it that I wasn't expecting, which is unusual because normally, like with the amount of content that we've seen, we guess it. And that's not to the detriment of the writing. It's just that we've seen so much, we know it. You see it coming from a mile away. So when something surprises me, I was like, So this is good in a really like horrific, depressing way.
How long are the episodes?
Fairly long, about at least 45 minutes to 50 minutes each. Yeah.
So a good binge then. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. It's on Hulu in the US.
Okay.
So
cool.
And all episodes are out, right?
I think so. Okay. Let me check. I just had screeners, so I was...
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't look to see if they had different... Because Hulu does... Oh, no.
Oh, no, they're not. So they dropped the first 3. No, they haven't. They dropped the first 2, and then it's weekly until episode 8. Oh, that sucks.
Okay, so
wait.
let me ask...
I would wait. Yeah.
That's what I was going to...
It's too much of a story that you kind of want to watch together. Watching this week on week, I think, is a detriment to it, to be honest.
Okay. So, watch the whole thing at once? So binge it all at once? Or
like maybe in 2 halves, or like three bits at a time, chunks at a time.
Yeah.
Like even 2 episodes at a time would be fine, like they did, releasing the first 2. If they did that every week, I think it would work fine. But
all right. Well, it's set to conclude on July 5th. So that lets you know how long you have. So okay. I'm gonna wait then to let a few more episodes come, and then I'll watch it because it sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely your sort of cup of tea. I know you like that sort of dark stuff. Yeah,
I do. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. What else do you have?
Oh, geez. Okay. I've watched half of this, so I don't know how it finishes, but I wanted to mention it because of late Seth Rogen stuff that I've seen I haven't enjoyed. He did like this comedy on Netflix, which wasn't great. This, however, has got Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen, and it's about estranged best friends. They've not been around each other. Something happened in their life, and they've not been each other for a long time. She gets married, Rose Byrne, and Seth marries someone that she didn't agree with, and so they come together when Seth is basically having a divorce. And it's like they pick up once after an awkward kind of friend date. After that, they pick up, and their banter back and forth is so real. You just feel like they are actually best friends. It's from the creators of Neighbours. I'm trying to think. Not Neighbours the soap, but there was the comedy.
Was Zac Efron in that?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's it's that sort of humor. So it has a balancing act to do between making it funny but making it real life, and I think they rarely find that because the drama is there. Like you feel like this middle age trying to deal with like divorce, or jobs that you hate, or people in your jobs that you hate. And then you have 2 friends that when they were younger, they were quite destructive together. They got up to a lot of nonsense. Now take that many years later and have them pick up where they left off and kind of going through a midlife crisis. And that's what you get in this. So from what I've seen, they're good and bad for each other, but they kind of need it. They need a few nights out to be wild because they've kind of got stuck in a rut in their life, or their life is really sucky. So they're going to get up to some crap and nonsense. But it works because it's them too. Like you really believe them together. So I was so happy that finally Seth, he's done something that is not forced laughter. He's not forcing his laugh. That laugh works when it's genuinely funny and he's being real. Other than that, you get all those early films that people liked, but then he kept doing them and they were like, yeah, we're over that now.
Yeah, there's several actors like that when they're forcing their comedy, or when for me it just doesn't work. But then when you watch them in something dramatic and they get to naturally be funny, like I can't stop laughing because it's like, wow, you were so good at that. This is what you really should be doing.
I haven't even said what it is. It's Platonic, and you can find it on Apple.
That's cool. Okay, is that a weekly release?
I don't think so.
Okay. I haven't started watching. I just have not had the opportunity yet. So
let me double check. I'm on there now. It finishes on July 12th.
Okay. So it is weekly. How long are the episodes? Are they more than 30 or are they 30-ish?
Trying to think. No, they're 30 minutes, like 31 minutes ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So not too long. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's Platonic. I'll mention one more.
Okay.
There was an animated series called Clone High that came out in 2003. I think.
Okay.
Let me just double check. 2002. Created by Will Forte and Phil Lord, kind of geniuses in the industry. It was cancelled. It only had one season. It was cancelled because basically in the first season they had a depiction of there was a character I'm trying to think of. Who was the character? They basically have historical figures that are cloned and attend a high school.
Weird.
Which is a really interesting and different. I guess that's a different story. But like in the first season, you had Marilyn Manson, Michael J. Fox, Jack Black, Zach Braff. Like these names are crazy. Donald Faison, Andy Dick, Michael McDonald, obviously Will Forte and Phil Lord, Christina, and the characters they're playing is like Joan of Arc, Abe Lincoln, Gandhi. That's the one I'm trying to remember, Gandhi. So their depiction of Gandhi upset the people of the nation so much that they went on a hunger strike, and so they actually cancelled because of that. So then we fast forward to now, and we have season 2, and you're thinking, how on earth? And did they get it? Basically, what they've done is they were all in ice. And they thaw them out, but they just don't thaw Gandhi out. And that's how they circumnavigate. They just leave him in the ice. Okay, so what makes this work? This is a really tricky thing to navigate. Bringing back a series that was well loved and had its niche audience. Mm-hmm. But you've got to take one that worked 20 years ago and make it work now. If you try and recreate that from 20 years ago, it won't work. So many films and TV series are trying to do that. So what they've done, they've taken the characters that we know and love and made them all fishes out of water with today's stuff. So they don't know about technology and tablets, the whole thing about being cancelled. I'm going to cancel you because you said all the very how extreme we've gotten with what is right, and you can't say that sort of thing, and stuff that was totally sexist and bad to say back in the day in 2000, but was accepted because that was the comedy of the day. Now that you couldn't say, and they make all our characters go through that, which is hilarious. It works really well. It's actually funny.
Nice.
So seeing all of these characters, like Confucius, Joan of Arc again, Abe Lincoln, JFK, it's not them because they're clones of it, and then they deal with new clones that are modern, that have been brought in to see how these old clones react. It's like a big science experiment, and it's absolutely brilliant. Like, it actually works.
What is it on?
I'm so sorry. It's a Max original.
Oh, really? Okay. So they can definitely be edgier.
Yes.
And
it's so good.
I'm curious at how well it's going to be received, because depending on who was watching it originally, will they still want to watch it now, and then will
I don't know.
Current audiences, pick up on it, or
it's funny. The concept is funny.
Can you watch season 1? Is that available, or is it?
Yeah, I think it must be on HBO, right? It must be on Max, which is what they call it now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
so good.
I wonder too if now, by leaving Gandhi in ice, if that is also going to be found to be offensive, which I could see that it could be.
Yeah.
Again, lead to
it might, yeah. But it's there now, so I'm glad they've had the balls to do it. So it's good.
That's funny. Okay, I'll have to just check it out, just to casually watch and see how it resonates with me. But that'd be fun. I mean, it's a great concept. Right?
It's awesome. Really good concept.
Nice. Okay. Any Anything
I
else?
do have, but I'm not gonna. It's enough.
No? Okay. Okay. Well, fine. Be that way. Withhold. That's all right. Hey, we thank you for joining us this far in this. We appreciate your eyeballs, you watching this, just your support. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Ruben with the Ruby Tuesday, me, Chris, Movies and Munchies. We have our Patreon opportunity at patreon.com/thebeardedones. As I don't even know what he's doing. Ruben's eating batteries.
Yeah, it's live.
But for £1 a month, you can, help support that. You can join in. There's a few things that are outside the paywall, so you get to see what we do. And then behind it, there's a ton of stuff and different tiers to get different levels of access. And like Ruben said, we had the opportunity very recently to sit down and chat and go over our top 5 of the bottom 250 on IMDb's list, and that is quite the list right there. So that was a lot of fun. So you can see that too. Is you just have to join for £1. That's all it is. Very inexpensive, great entry point, and that goes to just help offset the costs of the production for this. There's the audio version, which has this that you just saw, and then a whole lot more. And you can listen to that basically wherever you listen to podcasts. And like Ruben had mentioned, please rate and review us. That would be huge. And I think that's it. All right. So we will see you next week. Take care.